Hello, everybody, and welcome. It was like being preyed upon. Portland protesters say federal officers in unmarked vans are detaining them. It looks like you've woken a sleeping giant, sons. Now the federal government's coming. You better get off the streets. This ain't local police being restricted by governments down in the states. No, this is the federal government, and when they mean business, when they come after your ass, they get you. Yeah. Don't think that you've got something to bring to that table. They have fought wars with giant nations and won. So don't think that you've got anything that's going to stop them. When they come after you, they get you. Y'all gonna get Guantanamo Bay'd if you don't knock it off, okay? Okay, if you want to be wearing hoods and gloves and being surrounded by German shepherds in a concrete cell out in 30-degree weather in an orange suit, and you don't want to be on the internet dancing naked with a bunch of soldiers around you, you might want to stop what you're doing, okay? So, with that being said, federal officers are running around in unmarked vans and they're arresting protesters in Portland. And one 29-year-old resident said he ran about half a block after he saw several men in green military fatigues and generic police patches spring out of an unmarked gray minivan. He thought that they were left-leaning protesters and not police. But after he had no escape, after he ran, he sank to his knees, put his hands in the air, and he was detained and searched. One man asked him if he had any weapons. They drove him to a federal courthouse and placed him in a holding cell. Two officers eventually returned to read him his Miranda's rights, and I'm surprised they did that. After a few questions, he waived his rights. Okay. Pettibone says he still does not know who arrested him or whether what happened to him was legal or qualifies as an arrest. Nobody cares, really. They're federal officers. Pretty much can do what they want. They pretty much just pull that Homeland Security on you, and you don't have any rights after that. So if you're labeled some kind of a terrorist through the Homeland Security Act, they don't have to do anything as far as Miranda rights or have a reason to arrest you or have probable cause or nothing. They just yank you and you're gone. So his detention was first reported by the Oregon Public Broadcasting, and videos of similar actions by federal officials driving around in unmarked cars have raised alarm bells for many. Legal scholars question whether the detentions passed as constitutional. They probably don't. Arrests require probable cause that a federal crime has been committed, but they're not doing that. They're yanking you off the streets because they want this stopped. And they're going to do it however, by any means necessary. So, if the agents are grabbing people because they may be involved in protests, this is not probable cause. No, it's not. They're just yanking. So, federal officers from the U.S. Marshal Service and Department of Homeland Security have stormed Portland streets as part of President Trump's promise, a strong response against the ongoing protests. Local leaders expressed alarm at news of Pettibone's detention. That's the guy who was running. And echoed calls for the feds to leave that have grown stronger since Marshal Service officers severely wounded a peaceful protester on Saturday. So Marshal Service officers, I guess these are the feds, or there's somebody else. So they injured somebody. A peaceful protester in Portland was shot in the head by one of Donald Trump's secret police. So somebody was shot. And doesn't say if he survived or not. But they're an occupying army, and they provoke violence on the streets of my hometown. The feds are promoting violence. Okay, not the protesters. Look how this is just flipped. Ah, man, the feds, they're just ruthless thugs. And the protesters are just these harmless little snowflakes, right? Is that what I'm reading here? Do you think that? I don't either. So, civil rights advocates suggested that Trump administration is testing the limits of his executive power. I don't think there is any limits. So, I think that Portman is a test case. A spokesperson for the Oregon chapter of the Council of American Islamic Relations told the Post. They want to see what they can get away with before launching into other parts of the country. Yeah, they're going to see how they can whoop this ass before they go over and whoop that ass. So, he's been telling you guys in these states to get these protests under control. And you haven't done that. So now he's coming in with force and he's going to take care of your business for you. So you should have got your house in order. Now he's coming to get it in order for you. So that's what's going on. When I see people in unmarked cars forcibly grab someone off the streets, we call it kidnapping. Okay? So you called it kidnapping. Protesters and organizers have been shot in the head, swept away in unmarked cars, and repeatedly tear gassed by uninvited and unwelcome federal agents. They own this country. Okay? They get to walk anywhere they want to. Unwelcomed and unwanted. Uninvited. They don't have to be invited. You're basically in their house. And they just never really come in unless they have to. And they have to come in and clean it up for you. So, nightly protests have seized Portland's downtown streets since George Floyd's death in Minneapolis in late May. For more than 6 weeks, Portland police have clashed with left-leaning protesters speaking out against racism and police brutality. Tear gas has choked hundreds in the city, both protesters and other residents in the crossfire. Caught in the crossfire. Protesters have spray-painted anti-police messages on the Mark O. Hatfield Federal Courthouse in Multnomah County Justice Center, which serves as a courthouse, local jail, and police headquarters. So, basically what's going on in Portland is the federal government has come in to start whooping that ass. Start getting the protests cleaned up, getting people out of there, and they're doing it by any means necessary. Which they told them this has been going on, what, 3 weeks? Maybe 4? And I'm not sure. But many weeks. Much destruction, much vandalism. Millions of dollars in damages. So, it's going to end now. So, this is pretty much Donald Trump's men coming in to take care of business. So, if you're out there causing mayhem, you might want to watch out, because if you see a gray van pulling up, people jumping out on you, you might want to run for your life. So, this is the coming around. What goes around comes around. This is the coming around. It went around. Now it's coming back around. So, you might want to get back to your house. Just go back home. Stop what you're doing. Get back to whatever it was you weren't doing, because I know these protesters ain't got nothing better to do. But anyway, it is what it is. So that's all I had for today. If you would leave a like and subscribe, that would be great. If I can get to a certain amount of subscribers, let's say 50 for right now, I'll get some better equipment. I promise I'll get some better equipment. 50 subscribers and I'll get some better equipment. Okay? All right. I appreciate you watching. Take care.